As I get myself situated, and as you can tell by looking over here, and might as well just donning up, and we're getting situated, and it is that time of day. It is that time. It is a top five series. It is my top five favorite jerseys of each team, and as you can tell, it is those crazy boys from Sin City. It's those boys that Bill Foley owns. It's the Las Vegas, or we like to say the Vegas Golden Knights, and not really a hard one to do, but I didn't want. I don't. I say this a lot. I don't want to make this a long video, but there's a lot to we can digest about the Vegas Golden Knights. So as you can see right here, there's a subscribe button. Hit that if you want to be on point to anything new, whether it's sports takes, hot takes, the food reviews, or we do a lot of hockey content. And if you want to go back and check anything from Anaheim all the way to this very second, we do appreciate you. We've been here 2 years, and we want to keep this going. Let's keep this party going. We're doing extremely well for ourselves. Let me just go by and as I always do every single video, this is the NHL uniform database. And this is how we get all our timelines, the templates, and everything they have done. And it includes their specialty jerseys, reverse retros, and all that stuff, and specialties, and the timelines, templates, and all the wonderful stuff that you possibly know. Now, oh, as wonderful as this is, the Vegas Golden Knights are one of those intriguing teams. They debuted expansion in 2017, 2018. They are owned by Bill Foley, a very Armed Forces vet who really wanted to have the Las Vegas Black Knights. And they had a little bit. It's a long story short. They had a little conundrum with the U.S. Army, the University of Army, whose nickname is the Black Knights. So there was a little toss back and forth, and also with the Ontario Hockey League's London Knights. So they decided to go with the Golden Knights, and then dropped and wanted to be marketable. Dropped Las. That's actually, if you go into the timeline and the name actual play, it's Vegas Golden Knights, and that is what Bill Foley has gone with. He has won Stanley Cup. He went to the very first one, lost against Washington. A lot of people we talked about, they just come somehow know how to run an organization, and Bill Foley literally hires very intelligent people, and he did in George McPhee, and he literally just went out and nailed the expansion draft, including getting Marc-Andre Fleury, William Karlsson, and they went to the Stanley Cup in their opening year, lost to Washington, and Ovechkin get his first Stanley Cup. But from that point forward, Vegas just became not necessarily a juggernaut, but there's a lot of dislike with the Vegas Golden Knights because they're supposed to be an expansion team. They're supposed to build through the draft, build through the farm system. Not Bill Foley. That's not what he said when this team was put together in the inaugural opening up the logo and everything. He said, we're going to be aggressive from day one. We want to be competitive. We want to be in the playoffs every year. We want to be competitive every year. And we want to compete for the Stanley Cup every year. And he's got one. And he finally got that one against the Florida Panthers in 5, including destroying Florida. This is before Florida started the dynasty a little bit. 9-3 in game 5 to clinch it all, and they just ran the score up, and they wanted to make a statement. That's what it was. So one more thing about the Knights also, and I joke about this a lot even on my channel, as I call them mercs. I call them mercenaries. Pretty much because they just literally, smart people in the front office, they go after they go after big stars. They went after Jack Eichel. They signed Aiden Hill, even though they're still paying Robin Leonard. They paid Robin Leonard a fortune, and then he's got hip surgery, and he's definitely retired. So they paid Aiden Hill. They went out and got a whole bunch of more people, from Nate Schmidt to Alex Pietrangelo. They even got Phil Kessel at one point. He didn't even play, and he still want to run another ring, including being very, very diabolical. Alex Pietrangelo is a stud and a hero for the St. Louis Blues, winning their first Stanley Cup. He wanted to stay in St. Louis, and Vegas offered him one more year and more money, and he took the money. So that's just how Vegas is very aggressive in their sense. So they go after everybody, and they're never going to back off. They're always going to be in the playoff contention. So with that all said, Then we look at the jerseys, and I just kept the original charcoal one up, and it's at first impression was it's gorgeous. They use charcoal as the base. Not, I don't think anybody ever used charcoal gray as the base. And you got the black stripe, you got the black shoulder, you got the scratchy sterling gold and a little bit of red trim. And the bottom is very simple. The Golden Knight logo is one of the best logos probably created and marketable, and it took off. That's what you want in a team if you're going to create a team. So expansion teams know what you're doing. I don't think Atlanta and Houston are gonna Houston, Quebec, I hope. They're not going to have to reinvent the wheel. But this was one of the best jerseys. Number font is easy. That shows up as well. And then the white one, very, very distinguished. And all they did was just swap into the white, took the charcoal to where it was replacing the black. Um, the white is actually the one I'm wearing here is actually quietly one of the nicest road jerseys in the league. If you see the design work, also in the gold. It's hard to tell with me. It's hard to tell with look in mine, but you can tell the little essence in there. Very well done. And then they just did it again because they realized they were the Golden Knights and they made a third jersey. And they just finally said, you know what, let's just go ahead and do it. And they did. And that is officially now their home jersey with sterling silver helmets. I don't know if they changed those or not. Not sure. Put a comment in if they did. So I just little things like that. But the gold actually stands out and it is their identity. So that's what you want in a team. No black in that jersey except for the inside collar. So they got rid of that black and just kept their charcoal, which is completely fine. It continues that identity source. But you still have a little bit of that white in the essence and the little trim of red that makes them who they are. So they have all of what they need to do, and now they get the chance to do whatever they want. Let me go back and let's see. You saw a little bit of a tidbit, so let me just go back to get this one. This was the Winter Classic that they did against Seattle at T-Mobile Park. They lost that game 3-0. This is kind of meh. It did okay. But some people will still buy this because they'll think, oh, 20 years from now, oh, I remember they were in this game, and they may cop this down the road. The number font was nice, but nothing on the shoulders. It was just a very, very basic one stripe on the bottom. Call it a day. And it did okay. They lost that game. They only wore it like two more times later in the season. But Vegas has a Winter Classic that they went to. And then we go to both of the reverse retros that they did. And I still believe deep down they should still use this. And there's a kind of part of me, I know that Fanatics took over. I really think, I mean, baseball has numerous outfits. The NFL is going to start getting into that too. Uh, but Fanatics, they're just still thinking about should we even consider giving them? I mean, some teams are using four jerseys, but some of them are using heritage ones and a third one. Some using Winter Classics. This was one of the best reverse retros during that year. Remember, that's the pandemic year, and the V stripe on the bottom resembles the old Las Vegas Thunder of the IHL, ECHL days, and that secondary logo with the swords and the four-pointed star, one of the nicest second logos in the league. And they're using their red. I think it's one of the nicest ones. Gold collar, a little bit of the thing, a little bit of the black up top. I think they should use this as a fourth. Hold out and just use that as a fourth. They used that and they wore that game it was kind of a Winter Classic outdoor stadium game. Remember that game they played in Lake Tahoe against Colorado, and Colorado wore the Nordique um, reverse retro. One of the nicest ones out there. This was a first reverse retro, and then everybody remembers the second one. And the great thing about this, there's a lot of Easter eggs in this. This also was up there. I don't remember what I rate this in my tier list. All right, so I'll put that up there. But went back to the black gold collar, angled stripes on the arms, striping on the bottom. It's still that shiny, shaky, um, scratchy looking gold. But Vegas, that nameplate glows in the dark. That's what's nice about it. And the number font, and I actually think the lettering in there too is also from the Excalibur Hotel font. When you remember the old Excalibur Hotel, That's where that font comes from, and that was all in the numbers on everybody out there. That's how they looked, funkadelic looking, and everything. Logo on the shoulders. This was one of the nicest ones out there as well. So I didn't really put this into a top five because there was only six, and I just went through all six. But if I did, I would probably go this five. I would probably go. I would probably do this four, and I would go three, two, and I would just do. I would do the Grays number one because that's what I remember when they first came into the league. But that's the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and they're just going to be competitive from day one. That's just how it's going to be. And I'll close the bar here momentarily and just say, they're never going to go away. They're always been marketable. Their minor league team, the Henderson Silver Knights, mimic off that logo, and it's done fairly well. So, but they have to compete in probably one of in a very, very, very tough Western Conference. It's as bad as the NBA's Western Conference. It is loaded. They have to deal with a Dallas, a Colorado, a Winnipeg, Edmonton, LA. They have to deal even Seattle at one point. They have to deal with all those teams. So out of everything for the winter with the Vegas Golden Knights, there's six of them. Which one was your favorite? What do you remember of the Vegas Golden Knights? Put a comment in, chuck a like if you like the video. The next time I do this, we'll be doing the Washington Capitals. We're almost at the end. Bar is closed, and I will see you legends in the next one. That is the Vegas Golden Knights, and I do collect. I like the brand, but they are who I remember. I'll see you guys on the next one. You bloody mercs.